good.
Now we are recording.
Those drops of wisdom that we all know we're going to scatter around this evening.
Yes. So my son is very excited. He called me today. You know, my son never calls me. He really, like, I'm the mom. I have to call him. But he called me tonight, and so immediately I go into a panic. Oh my God, my son's calling me. What's going on? Is he sick?
Yeah.
And he was like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm feeling okay. And I had sent him a couple of packages. How are you feeling? Yeah, I don't know. You know how you said you might have like had a little sore throat, or, you know, did you have a fever, or what's going on? He said, maybe I have something now. Oh, well, what is it like? And then we were on the phone for maybe like 2 hours talking about, you know, de-stressing and get away from the computer. And maybe it's the stress of all the information and the stress of your working at home, because this is not the life that he designed, working from home. This is not it. Like, he wants to keep his work and his personal life separate. And now all of a sudden he doesn't have a choice, and they send him home to work, and this is not what he chose.
What does he do?
And that's stressing him out. He works for an electric company. It's a critical business, which is, I'm glad he has that. But then he was talking about how he just feels busy, you know, he feels busy. And then the conversation came around, and I remembered this one time that I went to the doctor because I was feeling really dizzy. And they reached into my ears and looked inside. And then they took this tool and they went inside my ear and they like grabbed this thing, like this horrible, horrible piece of wax. Like, it was, how was that even in my ear? They grabbed this thing out of my ear, and all of a sudden the dizziness went away.
Oh, that's crazy.
This is a thing. And he said, yes, this happened to a friend of his in Thailand. They were traveling in Thailand and they were feeling suddenly dizzy, really dizzy. And so it's really easy to think, if you're suddenly dizzy, maybe you have COVID. But he went to the doctor and same thing. They went inside his ear. They scooped out a giant piece of compacted earwax.
Oh my God.
And it just went away.
Hi, Christy. Welcome to the group.
It's kind of weird.
Headphones, those are cute.
But it's just another thing you have to do with this COVID thing, is make sure you keep your ears clean so you don't get dizzy and think that you have the virus.
It's really one of the strangest things I've ever heard, but I'm glad I know that now.
Yes, and so these are the kinds of...
You gotta check all the boxes off. You gotta check all the boxes off.
Check all the boxes off.
Pandemic tip.
Welcome to... Yes, so keep your ears clean. Don't just wash your hands, also keep your ears clean. Welcome, okay. Christy. So Lori says she will not be here tonight. She will definitely be here on the next one on Friday. She's still a little ill. But it's not COVID. She doesn't have the virus.
What time is Friday?
Friday is noon Eastern.
No, so that's an early day for me.
Yes, it's in the earliest one. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should dip in and have like some early ones for those people who are like way far away, like, you know, even noon Eastern time is too late for them because they're like in Finland or someplace else. I was thinking about that. So we'll think.
They're like 8 hours ahead of us. So if we did it at noon our time, it would be like 8 o'clock p.m. their time. I have a best friend in Holland, so that's the only time we can really gather. I don't know.
So, okay, yeah. Just a thought. So I wanted to share something with you. I'm going to wait for the next one to read Marla's newest piece because she wants to demonstrate. And so this tonight is a little late for her, but we'll wait. I'll read the Marla piece and we'll save that for the next time. Someone sent this one to me. I don't watch a whole lot of late night TV. And evidently this was on late night, one of the late night shows. And I thought that you might enjoy it. So let me set up the chair. Hold on a second. Let me make sure share computer sound. Yay. And here we go.
Stay the at home. The Rona is spreading. This is no joke. It's no time to work or roam. The way you can fight it is simple, my friends. Just stay the at home. Now, technically, I'm not a doctor, but mother listen when I read a poem. So here I am, Sam Jackson, imploring you. Keep your ass at home. If you want things to get back to normal, don't panic. Just use your dome. Wash your hands and stay home. Now stay the home. Sure, you can still see the app on your phone. And please stay the at home. Now go the to sleep.
I was gonna say how quickly that around.
So, I was thinking the same thing they did. They just took the sleep book and superimposed the title over it. And he wrote a poem. And then that's what they did. I thought it was genius.
That is hilarious.
There was like a lot of like circle delay things.
Oh yeah.
For you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was just me or if it was everybody.
Yeah, I think it was.
It seems like it's only you.
Oh.
No, she's what to me. She's the only one with the delay. Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't have the. You didn't have a
Susan's.
delay?
Susan.
Oh, I have a delay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Did it play smoothly for you though, Nancy? Like, did it?
No.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to Google Samuel L. Jackson, stay the fuck at home. So you can see it uninterrupted.
Oh, God.
Uninterrupted glory. Anyway.
I have to say that the best thing that's coming out of all of this is the hilarity on the internet though. Like my entire day is spent looking at memes and stupid shit. It's so funny. I love
songs. The way they're putting songs, lyrics to songs that we all know about it is just hilarious. And then I recently discovered I'm Irish, that I have Irish ancestors. So I've been watching all the Irish ones. Oh my God. It's even funnier with an accent.
I've seen so much funny stuff. Did you see the mail order bag of dicks? I saw it on Twitter today. Speaking of our dicks. I'm going to try and...
I have one. Okay, I got one. I got to send you guys. How do I get it up?
I know. I'm going to try and figure it out too.
All right. I'll be sharing stuff with you guys too. It's too funny.
I don't... Since we talked about dicks yesterday or the other day.
It seems to be a popular topic now. What is that?
It's a bag of Easter dicks.
Oh, look. This is a bag of gummy dicks.
Andy, do you like our conversations? Is this making you uncomfortable?
I once sent those gummy dicks to an old landlord, so I'm familiar.
Oh my God. Where did you get them? Where did you get them? I don't know where to get them.
Bagofdicks.com.
Bagofdicks.com.
It says right on this picture, dicksbymail.com.
That's what it was.
Dicksbymail.com. And if you use the coupon code GOTDICKS, you get 20% off.
You can send glitter dicks.
How come we didn't think of this?
I know.
Right?
Oh,
I know.
Fantastic service, though.
Really?
You can do it anonymously. It's pretty great.
I want to do it so bad. I want to be the inventor of it. What can we invent, you guys?
Oh my God. I don't
Bag
know.
of
Do they
dicks.
have Christmas dicks? Do they have
Like
Thanksgiving
an
dicks?
edible- you- we
Hanukkah
could do
dicks.
We could do the
Uh,
edible arrangement of dicks.
The
Out of
edible
fruit.
arrangement of-
Like much classier, yes.
Out of fruit, chocolate dipped.
Nothing says I love you like.
a nut platter. You all right, Nancy?
No, so you guys remember the Saturday Night Live sweaty balls with
Sweaty
Alec
balls.
Baldwin and-
Amazing. Yeah.
So in New York, there's an actual restaurant that is all it serves is meatballs of balls. And I think it's called, I don't know what it's called, but I'm sitting there in a window with my daughter who was 15 and my stepson who was like 30 at the time. And God, geez, is he even that old? And we're sitting in the window watching the street and we're eating meatballs and I can't stop laughing and they have no idea and I can't tell them because they're not old enough to have seen that. And I'm falling out of the window, you know, just laughing my ass off because we're eating balls.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
just,
sketch.
oh, stuff like that cracks me up. It was Bag of Dicks. What was it called? I gotta write it down.
It was, I'll tell you.
Can you put it in the chat?
Dicksbymail.com.
Dicksbymail.com.
Dicks by mail.
She's writing it down.
Oh God, are we gonna write stories about this or what? Should there be a contest?
You
There
totally
should be a
should.
contest about this. You know, my cousin sent me this, and the text went, okay, 3 things. She said, I tagged you in something. She's taking a class. We both are on Peloton. And she says, are you ready for Easter? And she sends me this picture. So I sent her back, you're funny. I rarely respond to Facebook tags because I prefer not to be tagged. It has a tendency to attract stalkers. Yay, I just followed you. And where do you shop for Easter? Because I've never seen anything like that.
I know. Just like Bag of Dicks when I saw it float across Twitter yesterday.
I don't know, Chrissy. You write stories about dick pics, and you become
Oh
a target.
no! We're gonna have the whole niche covered soon.
Listen, did you guys see my post in that one Facebook group today? How P.S. I Love You rejects stories now about family and love, and then the first story they feature in their newsletter is about dick pics, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, for real?
Really?
Yes.
What did
And
they change to? God, that's wild.
Whereas
Yeah.
we like dick pics every day. You know, dick pic material. It's open game.
Yeah, but they just changed
Yeah.
their policy. Obviously, that's wild.
Clearly.
Did you see the post that Marla put up about the free erotic photos?
Yeah.
It's like Unsplash, but there's free. So if you write an article that is erotic in some way, there's a whole website for appropriate photos.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the Facebook group? Oh, I'm just seeing it right now. Sexualalpha.com.
Good. They're very good photos.
All right,
Interesting.
then. Well, I'm not sure I'll ever write a story that requires one of those, but you never know.
Could be
You
a
never
challenge.
know, huh?
Wow.
It could
You
be a
never know.
challenge. I could do a writer's prompt and say, you are prompted to write a story using a photo from this website.
That's a good idea.
That sounds like a good isolation challenge for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does
How are you
anybody
guys? I was
What's
gonna say,
that?
how are you guys all doing with isolation? Do any of you live alone or no?
No.
No. Are you serious? I'm the only one that's going mentally insane.
Well,
No,
that's
I'm
not
worried that my
true.
husband is going to be quarantined with me, and that will make me crazy.
Oh, he's currently not.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Gotcha.
So at first I was like, you got to stop, you got to stop going to work. You got to stop. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, that means he'll be home all day. It's not a good thing.
B.
Yeah,
option.
I'm a little bit grateful I don't have to share with anybody, but at the same time, it's like the only person I've been around is my mom because she lives up the street, and I can't spend that much time with my mom. It's really hard. I love her, but
I hear you. I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I have housemates, and I just close the door. I just hide. I hibernate. So they know if I'm in here with the door closed, they can text me, or they can WhatsApp me.
You
Well,
have
like,
the
I know
fun
my
things
husband's
in
going to
your
come home any
background.
minute, and he's going to walk in here and go, "What are you doing?" After I told him this is what I'm doing. He'll be that way. He'll be that way. And it was funny because I was interviewing someone yesterday, and we're recording, and her husband kept walking behind her, and it was like a shadow across the glass. You know, it was very odd looking, and it didn't bother me so much. I just knew it was funny because I bet he's looking for like a spoon or something goofy he can't find. And sure enough, he finally had to interrupt us because he couldn't find like tea bags or something. It's just like, tea bags? He's never had, does he have a sunburn? You know?
I had the funniest moment like that 2 days ago. I did a Facebook Live, like a fireside chat, reading a story, and I did Facebook or Instagram Live, and I set it all up. And then my husband had fallen asleep in our bedroom, and the care that I took, I went in, I like covered him up, I quietly shut the door, I got the dog out, you know, like to make sure that I didn't wake him up when I did my thing. And I start my thing, and halfway through it, he just wakes up like, "Whoa, shit, what's up?" Like just screaming. It just ruined. It was amazing. Ruined, because I had a whole vibe going on. You know, I'm reading, the fire's on, and you just couldn't.
Where can we catch the replay of that one?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
my brother
too
texted me
funny.
like, "I loved it, especially the part where your husband just came crashing through."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's happening to so many people, you know, if you're watching any of all these, you know, even on our news, you know, all of our news station, they're all at home. And we've got, you know, kids who crash it, the animals crash it, you know, a spouse. Oh, it's hilarious.
Did you see the yoga dog I posted today on my Facebook? The
Yeah.
lady's trying to do yoga, and the dog is like completely bombing her. It was so great.
I love that. It's
so good.
hilarious. And then has anybody been watching John Bon Jovi and what he's been doing with
I watched the
music?
clip you sent me today.
Oh God, is he beautiful? But he's just doing amazing things. he's just doing amazing things. I love it. And to see how he's they're interviewing just like we are, you know, that's how Jimmy Fallon's doing his show, just like we are. It's so cool.
Yeah, I watched Trevor Noah last night from his living room, and it's such a different thing when there's no crowd laughing. It's so dry. Like, I wonder where these guys find the motivation to keep doing all that when nobody's laughing at them, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Writing funny material isn't the easiest thing, because you
I
have
wouldn't think
days.
so.
Yeah, you have days where you're just like, I really don't, like, I'm really stretching to think of a funny any line to write. And like, you really have to put yourself in a mood. They said that Jerry Seinfeld, he had a calendar. He had a calendar, and he would just put an X on every day, not for the day passing, but he had a goal to write 10 jokes every single day. So he wouldn't cross off the day on the calendar until he had written 10 jokes. And I started doing that. I started, I have a notebook, and I started, okay, fine, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to sit down and write 10 jokes a day. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's
10
really
is
hard.
a big number. I would say
I don't know if I could write
three
one
is a
joke.
good daily discipline. Sure.
Well, and the idea is, 10, and most of them are going to be crap. And
well, yeah.
Andy, you do stand up, right?
I don't do stand up per se. I do shows with stand ups. I do like a lot of more essay and sketch comedy than stand up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Because yeah, I think you said in one of the last chats that you mostly read your stuff, right?
Right. So yeah, I usually get up with a paper, or I do like monologues a lot. Character monologues are really my thing.
Yeah.
But I did, Susan, what you were doing with your news jokes, I did that. That's how I actually got started with comedy writing, because that was my first class. And that was like where I developed the daily discipline and kind of what you're talking about. And that was always just really challenging, because I would try and do it with the news too. And you just take these headlines, and just, it depends on the day. Either something sparks or it doesn't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really a big challenge. So you all know now, I'm gonna, just in case you missed it, that Slackjaw has a contest now with real money.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna
No.
enter it, Andy? Are you gonna try to write something for it?
Yeah, I saw it. It finally came up today. Yeah, I'll probably do something with them.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about
I
it.
want the criteria because I'm actually a funny, like, what's the criteria?
It's don't they have, what's their,
You can find it pretty easily if you do Slackjaw. I could also forward it to you. I don't have your email, but I can.
Yeah,
I'll go have
yeah,
a
it's
look after.
just
They're looking for
Slackjaw humor on,
satire. They're looking for, so they do a lot of satire,
see.
and I think they prefer satire.
They do, but they don't do fake news.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird. I mean, I get it, but.
I'll have to look for that. I don't know what.
But it's real money. There's real money there. I think the first prize is like $500, and I think the second prize is $250.
Yeah.
So
There's
They just
more.
have a nice
There's
big
more
base
money.
too.
Do any of you guys have a newsletter on Substack?
no,
I do.
I wanted to ask you about yours though.
I do.
Because they're giving away grants to starving artists now because we're all like dying and starving. They're giving away $100 in grant money, or $100,000 in grant money. They're splitting it up, and the grants range from $500 to $5,000, and all you have to do is apply for it. And there's no criteria. You just have to have a newsletter.
Yeah.
Cool. I have mine on MailChimp. I guess I should switch.
Maybe. Maybe.
So how do you like using Substack? That's where you post your blog and then it automatically fills your newsletter?
Yeah. Did you say why do I like using it?
How do you like it?
I like it because when I was a travel blogger, I had my newsletter on there, and the reason I started this newsletter too is because you can charge money for content. I don't have that yet, and I feel weird about doing that. But with my travel blog, I did have premium content, stuff that I didn't want to publish publicly on my blog. So I was sending it out just to paid subscribers. And that's why I liked Substack, because it's pretty flawless when it comes to, like, you can have your whole mail list and then you can send out all the fit. So it's just got more options than
anything.
like
I've not seen it until I started stalking your Substack blog, but that's where you can write your blog onto. That's where you write also.
Yeah, like you can, it kind of, their platform is blog like, because it's not like with MailChimp when you send out one newsletter, it's gone to the people. On Substack, when you send out a newsletter, it also stays on your Substack site.
Yeah.
So it's blog like.
Yeah, it's more content,
which I think
out there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's people making 6 figures on Substack. I don't have any information that's worth money, but not right now. But there's people who make 6 figures on there charging subscriptions.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to check it out more. Is it something that you can do? Is it just for an individual to use, or can a group use it?
Good question. I'd have to go into their Q&As to find out, or FAQs or whatever. But maybe, I don't know. If everybody had the same login, anybody could go in, right?
Right. Interesting. Because you could use it as for your business and have your different team members write to it. That'd be interesting. That might build up subscription worthy content.
Yeah.
It's really very easy to use and really easy to get started.
Yeah. Have you used it, Susan? You like it?
Yeah, I have it. I don't publish on it very often, but my intention is that eventually I'll use it as a way to, build my email subscriber base list, and that that eventually I'll use that as a communications medium. But I don't use it a whole lot right now, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it. Interesting. Very cool.
So anybody have anything you'd like to read?
Some
I
things.
suck today, so I had one of those days where I got up and I was like, nope, this is not going to work today.
I thought it might be fun. I have a post that I wrote like the day before quarantine that I can't post because it's about normal life. And I think just right now, if you read it, you're just like, well, that's not true anymore. Yeah. But
So
I
you're
thought
not going to
maybe,
publish it? You're not going to publish
well,
it?
I'm gonna wait. It's evergreen in that when we get back, it's
Okay.
about like Office. So I wrote this post that was really successful on MuddyUm called the out of office message that we all wish we could send. And I wrote that and everybody liked it. And I was kind of like, okay, I'll do another normal, like relatable. I struggle with doing relatable content in that if it's too relatable, I get annoyed with myself that it's not creative enough, which is insanity.
Oh, I
So
like
then
that. I'm good. Mhm.
So that we all post those like really genius pieces that we love and they're so weird or maybe just a little weird and nobody cares about them.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
my
Hey,
talent.
who's dog?
That's my dog. Sorry, I'm going to mute myself.
He's cute though. So then when we write the basic stuff and it works, it's like, okay, I guess that's formula. So I wrote another one in an effort to force myself to be relatable. So, but I still love it. So I'm going to read it. It's called Male Coworker. Male coworker definitely going to stand and pace for this call. Janet thought she would enjoy working in an open office space. The cubicle half walls offered an egalitarian approach to the practice of law and encouraged collaboration amongst coworkers. Janet assumed the office layout would ensure everyone remains respectful of the shared space. Janet assumed wrong. She did not account for the all-important phone calls that attorney Gary would receive on an hourly basis, the ones that absolutely could not be taken seated quietly at his desk. No, these phone calls were far too important to take sitting down. Gary needed to stretch his legs and project his voice for these calls. These were important calls. They required strutting and fretting, usually in a small circle around his own cubicle, the same size as Janet's and directly adjacent, and sometimes included the swinging of a golf club for emphasis. Gary doesn't have a golf club. Gary doesn't golf, but he pinches his forearms together and takes a swing of air anyway. The subject of Attorney Gary's calls, well, could be anything, from contract negotiations to the results of the big game last night. Either way, Gary can't talk to the important caller, his old buddy from college, confined at his desk. Gary has a Bluetooth headset for this reason. Janet also takes calls, but they must not be as important as Gary's because she never seems to feel the need to stand. She sits up straight, leans into the receiver, but that is usually because Gary's more important phone call makes it difficult for her to hear her own. When Gary's call doesn't go well, he just can't sit down and go back to work. So he hollers across the office to Lawyer Doug. Lawyer Doug, when he isn't on an important standing call himself, will confirm that Attorney Gary is absolutely right to be upset. Gary knows Doug means what he says, since Doug has an actual golf club that he swings. Gary thinks Doug is pretty cool. Janet sometimes chooses to take her calls in a nearby conference room so as not to disturb her very important coworker's phone call. This leads Gary to assume she has nothing important to do, since she walks away from her desk so frequently. Once, Janet put headphones in so as not to hear the details of the important call. This infuriated Gary. He insisted that type of behavior is against company policy and defeats the purpose of their cubicle layout. Janet has a new understanding of open office space and is looking for a job that doesn't have it.
That was good. That was good. I
Every
wanted
office
to,
person's dream.
yeah. Andy, you said you were reading something online the other night. Where was that at? Was it being recorded? Can we watch it?
I don't know what you're talking. Oh, my fireplace chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Truly, when I downplay how much my husband truly ruined that, so I'm re-recording them not live, and I will republish them.
Okay.
Like, they were truly, genuinely. He came into the kitchen and literally banged pots and pans. It was epic.
I want to see it too.
I know.
And I just soldiered on.
Oh my God. I think you should. A
Yeah.
friend of mine, BC Brown, she does a YouTube thing right now. She's been doing it for about a month and a half for authors, and she'll do write-ins and stuff. Okay, see, you have a dog right there. And she'll do her bloopers at the end, and they are so funny, just hilarious. So
Yeah.
I think they're good to use. We're all human. We all have that stuff
I
happening.
do love a blooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the
Who's
fun.
the dog?
That's this Herbie. That's my Herbie, the love bug. All right, go
Hi,
away.
Herbie. He looks pissed that he's not getting the attention.
He said 8 hours of attention and a walk was not enough.
Well, I'm apologizing about my bad connection here.
Yeah, I wonder why your image doesn't freely move.
I suspect that, is the sound bad too?
No.
It's just the image. I suspect that there's something going on my internet. We have 5G here, but we also have a house full of people. So there's 4 people who live here and full time. And so everybody's got, here it is kind of peak hour right in the evening. And I suspect if somebody else is streaming or uploading or downloading or whatever, it could be anything that, we're doing some
life right now. I mean, everybody's on the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the internet. I'm surprised, frankly, that the internet has not crashed someplace yet.
Shh, don't say that.
Well, did you guys see the other day we have this website where you can apply for this emergency funding from the province, and for the whole first week the website existed, it didn't work, and the phone number doesn't work either because it's too busy. The other night I finally got through in an online queue. I had 33,000 people waiting in front of me.
Wow.
And I sat there for 4 hours waiting for my turn to come, and then I got rejected. So it was a waste of my life.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
How long
Yeah.
did you have to wait for 33,000 people ahead of you?
4 hours.
4
I
hours?
was up till 1:30 in the morning. I started at 8:30, and 1:30 in the morning I got through. And then by the morning I got a rejection email. I'm like, does qualify for this then if a single person with no job doesn't?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever.
And you're in the restaurant business.
Yeah, I managed a restaurant. Yeah. All good.
She's gonna do something.
I'm actually writing an article. I've been writing it today about how I'm not doing too well in the kitchen because I'm used to eating in a restaurant 5 nights a week. It's a really funny one.
That is funny. The irony.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I
Can't
suck
wait to
at
read it.
it. Yeah.
Well, I was going to read Marla's, and then I thought I'd wait because she said she's going to come and, demo her new fashion wear in face masks. So I will leave that one to the next time.
I want a fashion mask. I really want one.
I think we should all come up with our unique fashion masks for the next thing, because not to be outdone by Marla,
Yeah. I'll use the skull one that I put on Instagram the other day.
The good news about all these alternative face masks is with Marla's methods, because I was really wondering, this has got to be boom time for bank robbers. Because with everybody walking around with face masks on, how can you tell the difference between somebody who's protecting for COVID and somebody who's robbing the bank? So if you're in a bank and everybody comes in with their face gear, it's impossible to tell. But if you have a
Those
face,
were my thoughts. Like on the first day, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like people are just walking around in balaclavas now, which is awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I'm surprised there's no looting or rioting going on yet. I'm really surprised that there's no looting.
Same, especially in Chicago.
it is a bit of a surprise, isn't it?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People being civil. It's almost like, yeah, we needed some little microscopic invisible element to
Scare the shit out of us.
scare the shit out of us and make people sit down and behave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like War of the Worlds. Remember, it took the little bird flu to take down the aliens.
Great
Yeah.
example. Yeah.
Speaking of, you made me think about my War of the Worlds story. You know, they not too long ago they did a remake, didn't they, of the War of the Worlds? It was a new
Tom
version of the
Cruise.
movie. And
Yeah,
at the
Tom
time,
Cruise
that movie came out, I didn't know that it had come out. And I had been working for IBM and I had been spending long hours, and I would come home and I was in the habit of just coming home, eating dinner, and then falling into bed and falling asleep with the television on. And that night, same thing. I fell asleep and the television was on. And then that I woke up and there was a news report, like breaking news, and it was showing disaster, you know, fire, and like it looked like a nuclear thing had happened, and it was really frightening. And I jumped out of bed and I ran to the window. I'm looking at the windows, and I'm looking out the windows in the direction of New York City, because you could kind of see the New York City glow from where I lived at the time. And I'm like, I don't see it. What's going on? What's going on? And I went back to bed and my heart was racing and I was a nervous wreck. I was pacing around in the apartment. What's going on? Oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's like, oh. And I went back to bed and I watched the TV some more, and then I realized they were playing the remake of the War of the Worlds. Oh my goodness. I felt like such an idiot. Well, the next day I went to work and my programmer department guys we would all eat lunch together, and they were all talking about, oh, isn't that funny? Did you see the movie last night? The remake? Yeah, the remake of the War of the Worlds. Oh my goodness. And then everybody told their War of the Worlds stories about how, you know, when people heard the first radio show, people were jumping out of windows. They thought it was legitimately the end of the world. And people at lunch were all laughing. The guys were all laughing. Oh, isn't that hysterical? Can you imagine who would ever watch or listen to something like this and think it was actually real? And I just looked at them and I said,
you're from New York, so it's like highly likely that any disaster thing would happen there. But like, I would never, if I woke up to that and saw it, I'd be like, whatever, I live in Calgary. Nobody even knows where this is. Like, it's true though. New York, I would be freaked out.
You have a point there. You have a point.
It's true. There is this just kind of edgy vibe that just kind of oozes out of the city even when you live in the suburbs.
And rightfully so, because look what happened on 9/11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, New York's definitely a target. I need to leave New York.
Nah.
It's on my bucket list someday.
Well, if you come to New York, you all are welcome to stay here. We're a train ride. We're a short train ride away from New York City. You get to go into the city, play in the city, and then come out of the city, so you don't have to spend a lot of money in a hotel.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deal.
Deal. Yeah. Done.
You're welcome. You're welcome to come. You're welcome to come visit.
Very
Well,
cool.
anybody, do you got anything, Nancy?
No, I'm actually going to call it a night soon here because I got, my kitchen is being rustled. I can hear it. And so,
Rustlers.
yeah, I got kitchen rustlers. So I'm going to call it a night. But I will be back we're doing this again on Friday.
Friday at noon Eastern.
Yeah, Friday is an early morning for me, so I will do my best to be there.
Okay, great. Well,
That's
thank
a
you
9
for
o'clocker.
thank you for reading, Andy. It was lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
thanks for all your
definitely.
stories.
I'm looking forward to the fireside chat. I really am interested in that.
Yes, you have to get that uploaded somewhere. I want to see it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
most
Let us know.
definitely.
All right,
All
y'all.
right.
Have a great night. Take care. Have
too.
a restful night, and we'll see you.
All
We'll
right.
see you
See
next
ya.
time.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.